Well, I guess I'll do another video today. This video is about my Sega Saturn. Now, I live here in America, but this is a Japanese Saturn. It is gray in color. Uh, so I'm in my mid-30s, and back in the day, in around 1997, I had a black North American Sega Saturn. I now have a Japanese Saturn, which I will explain in a little bit. But as you can see, it's not a typical Sega Saturn. You're supposed to have a CD in there. My Saturn does not have a CD drive, and it's been upgraded with an SD card. There's an adapter in there at the moment with a mini SD, and there's a couple spaces there for other cards. Now this particular one, I used the guitar string to keep it shut because the spring got missing for some reason when I was messing with it. So that there is a cartridge in the back for saves, and it has 3 switches. So 1, 2, 3. The switch here, as I recall, is for save games only, whereas this switch is for memory and this switch is for even greater memory. So this one is 1 MB, the middle one is 1 MB, the left one is 4 MB, and the right one is for save games only and not for memory. So there's very few games that can utilize the memory, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this thing apart. Not take it apart. I'm definitely not going to take it apart. I take that back. I'm going to disconnect it for you so you can see in the light. Now, this is a Sega Saturn, modded and amazing. Before we talk about it any further, though, I'm going to show you the rad2x really quick. Now, it's not on, and it's not plugged in, but this is the rad2x, which allows for superior video HDMI, as well as audio, with this one connector right here. Now, as you can see, I have a pretty ghetto setup. This is a 2007 TV. Right now there's a Google Chromecast connected to it. And I'm using this two-way switch because the TV only has one HDMI output, or input, I should say. So in order to get the two devices, you press the switch. See, but Chromecast, that is how you switch between the Chromecast and other things. But to take this video further, what I was talking about originally, the Saturn itself. So this is a Japanese Sega Saturn right here. Now, the case is in okay shape. The thing about this Saturn is, I originally bought the Saturn on eBay from a seller from Japan, and he said that the CD drive works 100%. So, lo and behold, I get it in the mail. The CD drive does not work. I think I tried to tweak it. I tried to make it boot. And there was one game that actually booted one time, but it took like 5 hours, and then it never booted again. So the drive he gave me was basically a dead drive. It was about to die, and it booted almost no games. And he's like, well, the CD drive works 100%, and that was not 100%. So I told him, can I return this thing? I'll send it back to you. And he goes, you know what, just keep it. Because he didn't want to pay for the shipping charges and whatnot from Japan to the US. So I got a free Saturn with a CD drive that does not work. Now, as you can see here, it doesn't have a CD drive anymore. What it does have is an adapter. Now, this adapter here is a completely separate piece that you can get on eBay for like $15. But we're working backwards here, because inside this Sega Saturn is a hard disk drive and a Terra Onion mode. So with the Terra Onion mode, you can store up to 1 terabyte of games. And you can also store games on your SD card or SD adapter. Now, these spaces here are not adapters, they're just storage. So you can put this thing and it fits loosely. You can put adapters in there and 2 other cards. But I'm not going to take this thing apart for you, but this is actually not a Model 1 Sega Saturn. Now, it looks exactly like a Model 1, but it's not. The reason why is because there were some really, really rare Saturns right in the middle when Sega Saturn made the when Sega, I should say, made the transition between Model 1 and Model 2. Now, I really just messed this thing up because all this stuff just came out. But anyway, when Sega made that transition between Model 1 and Model 2, there were some Model 1s that were still... There were some Model 2s that were still in Model 1 cases. So when they first started making the Model 2, they put them in the Model 1 cases. And this is one of those. So this is a Model 2 Sega Saturn in a Model 1 case. So this one here, I guess it was too dark for me to see. And I spilled this out of the adapter somehow. But moving to the back of this thing again, I'm not going to tip it over again, but none of this stuff was ever changed. I only added the mode. I'm not going to undo the screws to show you, but this is a Model 2 Saturn, so it's a really, really rare model. Right in the middle when Sega first changed from Model 1 to Model 2. So this is one of the really good ones. If you're going to choose between a Model 1 and a Model 2, I say get Model 1. Those are the better models. I like the case better. And if you're going to choose between an American and a Japan, and you're looking for the cheaper one, you're going to go with this one. This is the cheapest model Saturn that you can get. I like how it looks. It has the blue buttons and everything. You just can't go wrong with this one. Now, I'm gonna try to reconnect it, I guess. I just lost one of the cables. I'm not sure which one. I guess it would be a pain in the ass to connect it because it would take too long. Because I would just be idling in this video here, but I dropped one of the cables and everything. So here's the cable I dropped, which was the power cable. So I guess we'll do it. I guess we'll try to do it. So the screen just went black for a second, but it was just because I put my phone down for a minute. I can't really see in the back here when I'm doing this. I wish I could, because it would be a lot faster. But let's give this a shot anyway. We'll keep the video going. Why not? So, to give you a little backstory of where you are right now, where you're watching this video, I am in Austin, Texas. So I just tipped the SD cards again. That's one of the downsides of having one of these things when you're moving around a lot. If you have the setup that I have with the SD cards like that, they're going to fall out of the thing when you move it. I'm like feeling around for this plug, and it's like, I guess that's stupid. Anyway, so the power plug, there it is. It's connected. Next we're connecting the rad2x, as you can see right here. So my hand was over it. So this is the rad2x. You can see that's fine. It'll still close, and you can leave the cards like that. Maybe it won't close. Okay, it's closed, and you can leave the cards like that. But I got no slack with this thing, so the plug just came out, as you can see. See that? Alright, so we'll put this down for a minute. This is a way that I could lean my phone against something. I don't want the screen to go black. I guess I don't really have a choice. Alright, we'll just leave it like that for now. That way you'll see something and not pitch black. Anyway. See, it's really difficult to see what you're doing with these cables sometimes. The next thing I have to do is connect the USB power. So right now my Chromecast is plugged in. So what I'm going to do is, that's where the Saturn is, number 2. And see, this is the power, and the HDMI is in there as well. So once I connect the power of the Saturn, which is this cable right here, the power of the rad2x, I should say, the Saturn will get power, right? Now, there are different modes for the rad2x right here. This is the rad2x, that clear thing right there. And this is the cable that I'm plugging in for power. This is USB, but that's the wrong cable. So USB for the rad2x is what we're looking for. This is the correct cable. Yep, this is it. So it says Sega on it. The story behind that is because this cable is for my Sega Genesis Mini. So perfect. I use that cable to power the rad2x USB. Perfect. So it's on right now. It's got different modes. That's the mode that you want. So this beer coaster right here, I use this to put over the LED so it doesn't get in my way. But that's how it looks. Anyway, because it could get distracting and stuff like that. But the thing's plugged in. Anyways, so one thing that I do have to do is plug in the controller again, because as you can see, they're unplugged. So so I have I have 8 Sega Saturn controllers, maybe 9 Sega Saturn controllers, and I just ended up unplugging the controller from the extension cable, which is bad. This is an extension cable right here. So we want this into controller 1. And we want this controller right here, this 3D controller from Japan, we want this to go into the extension cable that we have. So this gives us, so I'm using wired controllers here. There you go. The controller is plugged in, all is good. And now we have our Japanese controller. This one I got, it was like in brand new shape. Amazing. I've bought and sold several of these controllers before as well, but so as you can see, now this is my TV, my 2007 Philips TV, which works really great. To show you a little bit about this one, the reason why I kept the 2007 TV still is it has all these outputs and inputs, all the old school stuff, and it has HDMI. It only has one HDMI. It does have a USB power input for the mode. and I use this so I can have two HDMI switcher. And so now, here you go. Here we go. Power on. Nothing's happening. What is the problem here? Well, I know we're on the right switch. What did I do here? Did I break it? Well, why is it not getting any power? Ah, the cable fell out. In fact, we'd never put the cable in. That's what the problem is. So, I told you this is going to take a little bit of time. You see the cable is not plugged in. So we're going to shut everything off. I don't want to shock this thing and fuck it up. Well, I never plugged it in. A common problem with these things. Really, really common. But I will get to the good stuff here. I promise. I can promise you that. Now these Sega cables, I don't like to plug them in messed up. You don't want to force them in there. If you can't see and you can't see what you're doing, you want to be careful. Just be very gentle. Once you feel it, which I just did, then you push it in. Once you feel the pins go in, then you push it. Otherwise, you're going to bend a pin, and you don't want to do that. Then you're going to have to use a plier to make the pin straight again, and then the pin might break off. So we're going to try this again. TV is on. See the lights lighting up? Now it goes into yellow LED mode. There's a name for that. I can't quite tell you what it is at the moment. The controllers are already plugged in. Now, what's cool about the LED is it actually lights up the system, so I can actually see the system from here, even though it's dark. And when it's off, I really can't. Okay, so now when I turn the system on, here we go. The volume is a little low, I guess. We'll crank it up a bit on this TV. So my cartridge, this is the cartridge right here that just came up, the Saturn Kai, and we booted into the mode. So the controller that we have right here. Now I made these folders myself, and well, I might as well just tell you everything since we're in the menu. I actually have VCDs on my Saturn. I'll even show you one of these first. So in the Saturn, there's a VCD card. They work for Japanese Saturns. This is one of the reasons why I recommend the Japan one, because they do work in the American Saturn, but you need this cartridge for the American Saturn. So for this Saturn, you don't even need this cartridge. You can just boot up a VCD, but you have to get the VCD, the special VCD card, which goes in the back right here. This thing that I'm touching right here, that's where the VCD card goes, and it pushes right in. It goes in, and it's like maybe a rectangle like this big, and you can actually watch VCDs. So let's take a look at that. Now, I have quite a few VCDs here, and these are the VCDs on my hard drive. So you see device HDD. There's some AVIs which I converted into the format that the Saturn takes, which is a whole different story. And I could show you that on a different video, maybe another time. So you press Z to switch devices. Now we're switching to the SD card. So on this SD card, I have Curb Your Enthusiasm. Some of the newest seasons. Look at these movies. I have a Seinfeld episode, I have South Park, and these were all converted. I have a Johnny Depp movie, I have Fight Club, but I'm gonna try to show you a let's choose a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. So the volume still isn't quite loud, but I can make it louder. I think I just did. This is the cartridge booting right now. It auto loads and then start to exit the cartridge. Then the VCD card will auto load once it goes to the main menu. See that? Victor,